الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله. جزاكم الله خيرا for coming. Tonight, inshallah, we will start the first session of the Tarbiyah Imaneya Workshop. Just a quick reminder of what we said last time, which is like 1 hour, 15 minutes lecture. For those who did not attend it, I recommend that you go back home and search for it and watch it, because it is the introductory session of both workshops. One workshop is to do tarbiyah for our hearts, which is this one, Tarbiyah Imaneya, and the second workshop, which will start after this one, which is 8 weeks, is finished. We will start another one called Tarbiyah Ruhiyya, spiritual tarbiyah. And we said last time, and if you want to search for this introductory session, you need to type on YouTube the words balanced purification and put my name next to it, Fadel, F-A-D-E-L, Soliman, S-O-L-I-M-A-N. And watch it. Last time we said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave each and every human being 4 things, and He gave him those 4 things either empty or weak. The intellect or the mind, the heart, the soul, and the body. Neglecting any one of those 4 things will lead into an unbalanced human being. The mind, if you neglect taking care of it by seeking knowledge, the right knowledge, it will lead into jahl, ignorance. The heart is like a mobile charger, mobile battery. It needs to be charged every single day with Iman. If you don't charge it with Iman, it dies, like your mobile battery. But the problem with our hearts is not just that it needs charging, the problem is that it needs fixing. Because our hearts right now are like a spoiled mobile battery, a bad one. You know, when you have a bad mobile battery, it charges very fast and it discharges also very fast. Like when we go to Umrah, we come back with a lot of Iman, a lot of inspiration, a lot of faith in our hearts. And then this faith is discharged in 24 to 48 hours. Because the mobile battery, the heart, is not a good heart, is not qalb salim. This workshop should work on your heart to fix it and teach you how to charge it. The third thing is the soul. Those who do not do tarbiyah or purification for their souls, they can become arrogant people, even though they can have good iman, even though they can go to pray every time to the mosque, but they can feel that this is something that they have in themselves. They are good. Not that God Himself allowed them to do so. No. So this soul needs purification, or people can start becoming insincere. Someone comes to visit you and you offer him to drink something. He tells you, "Thank you very much, I'm fasting. Today is Monday. We have to fast every Monday and Thursday. I always fast Monday." You see him very proud of himself. While actually this is something that should be between him and God. Fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about fasting, كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصوم فهو لي وأنا أجزي به. Every single deed that the human does is done and he can get credit for it, except sawm, except fasting. It is totally for me, and I am the one who rewards for it. What does it mean? When you pray, even if you pray with sincerity, some people can see you praying and say, MashaAllah, it's not the first time to see this brother praying. When you give in charity, someone can see you, even the poor person himself will think of you highly. But when you fast, no one knows. You're just shutting your mouth. No one knows that you're fasting except Allah. Or except when you disclose this information to people and start telling them, I'm fasting, I'm fasting, I'm fasting. What do you want from us? To applaud you because you're fasting? Keep it secret between you and Allah. So this is another workshop that will, inshallah, increase our sincerity and work on our pride and arrogance. But that's another thing. A workshop which, inshallah, should start after this workshop is done. And the fourth thing that Allah gave to us is our body, our strength. If you have good iman, if you're sincere, if you have good knowledge, but you're lazy, you don't benefit your community with your knowledge or with your iman or with anything. So there is something also called Tarbiyah Harakiyya, that you need to learn how to benefit yourself and your society. Now we are going to start taking care of our hearts, which is the most important thing now. Does my heart need tarbiyah? This is a question that should be now asked by every one of you to himself. You should ask yourself now, does my heart need tarbiyah? Ask yourself. Actually, there is a questionnaire, 30 questions that you should answer today or tomorrow. Where can you find them? You have to register for this workshop. It's a free workshop, but you have to register for this workshop by sending an email to myhomework.uk@gmail.com. myhomework.uk@gmail.com. When you send to this email, you will receive a registration number. And you need to understand that this workshop is not attending 8 sessions. No. It is attending 8 sessions and doing a daily homework and sending a daily email saying, I did my homework this way. There is an employee in Bridges Foundation in Egypt, by the way, who is receiving your emails, going through them, actually in the subject. You will not write anything in the body of the email. So what I want from you today is to write your full name to myhomework.uk@gmail.com. Later, inshallah, starting next week, when we start asking you to do your homework, you will start sending a daily email, and this is, for example, the workshop which I hold in Beirut, because this same session is given in Beirut every Sunday, in Tripoli every Monday. Here, 300 of your brothers and sisters in Lebanon are doing their homework every day, and some people are putting this on a table, and every day I look at this table and I see how you're doing, and then I come and I speak to you, but of course not by mentioning your name, because you're not here, because I don't want to disgrace anyone actually, but I'll be telling you that you're not doing well during the past 3 days. For example, you have to keep up the good work, and so on. So I'll be speaking to you with your registration number 436. Why did you stop during Monday and Tuesday doing wrong? Like that. So you know yourself. Others around you will not know you. But this is what's called tarbiyah, which is being in a daily contact with your murabbi. So if you think that you will just benefit from the sessions, believe me, you're wasting your time. You can even skip a session and watch it on YouTube. But you cannot skip daily homework. You have to do your daily homework. Those who did the daily homework before, we gave this to more than 5,000 people, by the way. And we have great success stories. I have someone who suffered from severe depression and was taking 2 medications. One of them is an antidepressant and the other one is called lithium for the brain. He stopped it after 6 weeks. He stopped it, and I begged him not to stop it and to go to his doctor, and he can see what he can be done with him. But he stopped it and he's well, mashallah. So we have great success stories. But please do your homework. Okay? Now the question is, does my heart need tarbiyah? Ask yourself. The first question in the questionnaire, which you should receive by tomorrow if you register. How regularly do you recite Quran? Do you recite Quran every day? Or every week? You start Al-Kahf every Friday, and whether you finish it or not, alhamdulillah, you just started. Or every Ramadan. By the way, 90% of religious Muslims, they read the Quran every Ramadan. This is religious Muslims, not unreligious people. They read every day. Religious Muslims read in Islam every day. But they read seerah, they read hadith, they read fiqh, they read explanation, tafsir, but not the Quran. And one of the sessions is, why is that? What are the barriers between us and the Quran? The second question is, when you recite the Quran, do you reflect on the meanings? Or you just read without understanding, without reflection, heedlessly? The third question is, how regularly do you say the adhkar, morning adhkar and the evening adhkar? And the fourth question, when you say the adhkar, do you say it with contemplation, with reflection, or just say it quickly, heedlessly? Fourth question, about the khushu'. Do you pray with khushu'? Or do you come to plan in the mosque? When the imam says Allahu Akbar, we say Allahu Akbar, and we start planning. After the salah, I have to go and buy the stuff from the supermarket. Tomorrow I have to go to the university, and I want to buy a new car, and then I find the imam saying, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. We finished. And the people, your neighbors, see you going to the mosque every day, thinking that you go to pray, well, actually you go to plan every day. Do you pray with khushu', or do you pray unconsciously? This workshop will help you also bring khushu' to your salah. One of the, I think session number 7 is about the salah. It will change your salah if you do your homework. Do you feel bored? Sometimes? All the time? Most of the time? Never? You never feel bored? Do you feel sweetness of iman? Or it doesn't matter? Do you feel that Islam is a blessing? Actually, it doesn't matter. Or yeah, it's a blessing. Or sometimes you feel that it's a blessing. Sometimes it doesn't matter for you. Of course, this questionnaire is confidential. It is personal. It is only yours. No one should see it. If you download it on your laptop, you need to make a password for opening this file, because no one should access it. No one. You will not send it back to me. But at the end of the workshop, you will answer the questions again and see the difference. Some of these questions are very personal, like, do you watch porn? Some people may think, what's this question? This man is speaking to people in the mosque. Well, this is the reality. Some Muslims who pray in the mosque, not some, many, they watch porn. You want more than this? They are addicted to porn. Because for them, that's a middle solution. They don't want to fall into the sin, but at the same time, they have hormones. Understand? How can this workshop will help? I'm telling you, Do you watch videos that have like, not porn, but sex scenes and stuff like that? Some of us do. Do you steal from others? You see something that you like with someone, can you take it? Would you take money that you find on a bus? Or a pen? Or would you go down and give it to the driver? If you like it, do you take it? Do you put it in your pocket? It doesn't belong to anyone. Someone just left it. Or are you very sensitive to these issues? Do you insist on claiming your rights fully? For example, you go to buy something from a store and he tells you, well, your change is like 40p. I don't have change with me now. You say, okay, I wait. And you wait till another customer comes and he gives you back, or you can tell him it's okay. So some of us, no, they need to claim all the rights fully. Another question, do you insist or do you make sure that you give others the rights fully? Or sometimes you may not give them the right fully. Do you feel better wearing brand names? Signé, the ladies who listen to me now, Louis Vuitton, Coco Chanel. Do you feel better when you wear these things? Do you feel that it's adding to you? How frequently do you fight with your spouse? Every day? Twice a week? Never. How frequently do you fight with your parents? How frequently do you fight with your colleagues? Is your life full of fights? By the way, that's a sign of a very weak iman. Don't tell me, but they wronged me. I'm not speaking about who's wrong and who's right. A life full of fights is a sign of a weak iman. Do you grieve for missing a business opportunity? And they tell you there were very cheap pieces of land and we all went and every one of us bought a piece of land or made a down payment, but the door is closed and you didn't know about that because you were away for a while out of the country or something. Do you feel sad for that? You missed it. Oh, alhamdulillah, doesn't matter. Khalas. This is rizq. Because some of us have long beards, they go to the mosque and they pray, but when something like that happens, they grieve. Do you grieve when you lose money? Do you watch TV daily? There's a series that you're watching every day, which means that you have time. It doesn't mean a weak iman, but it means that you have time. Inshallah, after this workshop, you won't have time. You won't have time, I'm telling you. Duties are much more than time. How frequently do you pray on time? Do you make sure that you pray every prayer on time or not? And how frequently do you pray in congregation? Is it okay for you to see that there's a congregation, there's a jama'ah, but you skip the jama'ah and you pray alone? You don't care. Would you lie to gain people's admiration? In Egypt, we call this fash. You tell a small lie to make people admire you. You tell them, on my way here, I fought with 4 people and I beat them up. You're lying, a small lie, but actually it makes people look at you like, wow, this guy is strong. Or you speak about something huge that you did and it never happened. So it's something, lying to make people admire you. Many of us do that, by the way. Would you lie to achieve your goals? Something serious, and you really need it, but you can't achieve it except if you lie. Would you lie? Do you make money out of haram business? Do you grieve when you miss a prayer? Would you delay paying a debt even though you can pay on time? Some people, they have to pay something between the 1st and the 5th of every month. They pay on the 6th or the 7th. every month. And they know that the landlord will not ask except after three more days or something. So they intentionally don't pay on time. There is a hadith about those people, by the way. And do you feel proud of yourself when you do something well? You do something well, you feel proud of yourself. And you like people to praise you. Do you pay your zakah in full? You know, calculating the zakah is a worship. Just calculating it. Do you make sure that you pay in full? Or usually you pay like 50%, 60%. And you intentionally do not calculate. Are you jealous of a peer who is more successful than you? Which means that you graduated with someone, one of your colleagues, and you both went and worked in Vodafone for, and you were paid like, you started with £1,000 a month. And then after 3 months, he gets a contract for £5,000 a month. What do you feel? Happy for him? Or you feel like, oh, he's your friend. Aren't you happy for your brother? Anyway, I'm sure many of us found that they have problems from this questionnaire. Can we change? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah does not change the status of any people until they change their own status. So what do we need to change? Azima, the will. You need to have the will, the guts to start. Start. Send an email today. You will receive a questionnaire and you will send a daily homework, and that's it. But you have to take the initiative to do something. Not come and watch me every week. Start. فَإِذَا عَزَمَ الْأَمْرُ فَلَوْ صَدَقُوا اللَّهَ لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Muhammad, it would be better for them if they were true to Allah. Are you true to Allah that you really want to change? Allah will help you, but you need to change yourself. If so, if you agree with me, let's start. I want you now to imagine that going back home, you found one of the community, of our community, in the street, lying on his back, sleeping, and there are some bottles of beer and alcohol empty next to him. He's drunk and he's sleeping in the street. One of our Muslim in the community. And I want you to tell me, what will you tell him? What will you tell him? Suggest. Haram? Exactly. He's sleeping. You need to wake him up first. How can you tell him it's haram? How can you tell him take care of yourself? How can you tell him there is a judgment day? He is sleeping, so you need to wake him up. That's exactly the status of our hearts. We cannot do tarbiyah to our hearts right now because the hearts are sleeping. We need to wake the hearts up now. What wakes our hearts up? The God-fearing. To be fearful of God. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, سَيَذَّكَّرُ مَن يَخْشَى. He who fears God will be mindful. He also said, وَأَنذِرْ بِهِ الَّذِينَ يَخَافُونَ. Use the Quran to warn those who fear being gathered before the Lord. So, we need to bring fear to our hearts. But I know that fear is negative. How can the speaker use this word? Fear, it's negative. Yes, fear is negative except from Allah. Being fearful of Allah is positive. Why? Because it motivates. It motivates you to do things, not the opposite. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فأما من جاءك يسعى وهو يخشى. And as him who comes to you striving earnestly with fear in his heart. So the fear of Allah in his heart made him go and seek knowledge and ask the Prophet. This is Surah Abas. The blind man who went asking the Prophet for advice. He went so because he's fearful of Allah. So being fearful of Allah is positive. It's not negative. How can I be fearful of Allah then? How can we bring fear to our hearts? By remembering death. We need to remember death. This session is called Death. And the problem is we deal with death every single day. We see people dying, or we pray janazas, or we hear about people dying. Even though we deal with it every single day, we never think about ourselves dying. We never imagine ourselves dying. You know what? We daydream a lot. And we imagine a lot of things. We imagine ourselves like fighting a strong person and beating him up. Or maybe we imagine ourselves like wearing something nice and people looking at us like that. And the girls are... We imagine a lot of things, but we never imagine ourselves dying. This is what we will do today. We have to imagine ourselves dying. So I want you now to start imagining yourself dying. I want you to imagine yourself going back home after this dars, and you get run over by a car. Pain, it throws you like 10 meters away, and you fall on your head and you die. So the angel of death is coming to take the soul out of your mouth. Imagine this. It can happen to you, by the way. By the way, I want someone to tell me that he guarantees that he goes out on his feet from this mosque. Who guarantees that he goes out alive? No way, no one. But still, we never imagine ourselves dying. It's closer to us than anything. Still, we never imagine ourselves dying. What will you tell the angel of death if he comes to take your soul? Please wait. Give me 24 hours. Because you're not ready. You are not ready. So you will ask for a delay. You will ask for just 24 hours. But of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ أَجَلٍ فَإِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهُمْ فَلَا يَسْتَأْخِرُونَ سَاعَةً لَا يَسْتَأْخِرُونَ سَاعَةً وَلَا يَسْتَقْدِمُونَ. There is a time set for every people. When it comes, they cannot advance it nor delay it for a single moment. But I want you to imagine that the angel of death will give you this 24 hours. It will not happen. But imagine that he says, okay, listen. Now it's 8. I'll come tomorrow at 8 and take your soul. You have 24 hours. What do you think you will do in those 24 hours? You will go home and turn on TV to watch it for the last time in your life? You will go and make wudu and pray all night. The last night will be praying. And of course, before Fajr, you will take suhoor, because tomorrow you will fast for the sake of Allah. And of course, you won't treat your mother like you treat her every time. No, this time you will be extra polite and go on your knees and kiss her hands. Same with your father. You would be nice to your wife. Your wife would ask you to do something or give her something. You will not fight with her like every time. Khalas. Life is ending. Life is ending. And you will calculate the rest of your zakah and give it away. You probably write your will and will use the maximum right given to you to donate. 1/3 of your wealth. You will donate it. And the rest will be for your children, because now for the first time you will think about yourself. No one else will be coming with you on the day of judgment. You will come alone. And you will pick up the phone and speak to people whom you did not speak to from among your relatives and friends since a long time. People that you maybe have some problems with them, you cut your relation with them. You will do silat rahim and call them. You may even call people whom you backbited one day and ask them for forgiveness. This is called the wish list. This is the second homework. I want you tonight to go back home and write your wish list. What do you wish to do before you die if you are given 24 hours? The wish list. Write it and keep it in your desk or in your drawer, because we will use it after 3-4 weeks. I will tell you, bring the wish list. Now, we are starting the Tarbiyah Imaneya. This Tarbiyah, purification of the heart, in the beginning, we need to understand that our main goal is to wake the heart up and fix it, as I said, and then move it towards Allah. Start walking towards Allah. So we need to understand the problem. To understand the problem is we have weak Iman. This is my problem and your problem and the problem of the whole Muslim world. Weak Iman. And we need to fix the hearts first, because they are out of order. Our hearts are out of order. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالُ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. A day when neither wealth nor children can help. The only one who will be saved is the one who comes before Allah with a good heart, a sound heart. So you need to test your heart. You want to test your heart? You want to test your heart and see if it's a good heart or not? Spend money. Spend money. How much do you need to pay your zakah? Is like 1,000 pounds every year? Give 1,500. 2,000. Double your zakah. Triple your zakah. What's wrong with that? Do you believe in Allah? Do you trust Allah? Do you trust that Allah keeps His word or not? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, من ذا الذي يقرض الله قرضا حسنا فيضاعفه له أضعافا كثيرة والله يقبض ويبسط وإليه ترجعون. Who will give God a good loan which He will increase for him many times over? It is Allah who withholds, and it is Him who gives abundantly. Do you trust Allah or not? Spend money. Extra than your zakah. Extra than the zakah. Double your zakah. Today we need to imagine ourselves dying, as I said. Now, you got ran over by a car. The angel of death came to take your soul. You will ask for 24 hours. But he will not give you, he will tell you, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know if he will say I'm sorry or not, but he will say, I can't. You cannot. So he will start now pulling your soul. So you will feel, imagine this happening to you now. Imagine it. Physical pain. Because your soul is pulled out from your body. Khalas. Blood circle stopped. You are getting cold. Your limbs are getting cold. He's pulling it from your limbs. And you will also feel psychological pain. Why? Because you're worried. You will have a lot of worries. All your bad deeds are now, when you are dying, are played like a movie before your eyes. Regretting that you did these stupid things. And you're also worried because you haven't seen his face yet, the angel of death. Because his face will be either ugly or beautiful. Either ugly and scary, and tells you, good news, O enemy of Allah. Allah is so angry of you and will punish you. At this point, you will realize that you're lost. And you will be very desperate and frustrated and sad. Or you will see him with a very beautiful face, saying, good news, O you, Waliyullah, saint, someone who's protected by Allah. Allah is pleased with you and He is going to reward you. At this point, you realize that you're a winner and you will calm down and feel comfort. We have seen in Rab'a the shuhada, the martyrs, with beautiful smiles on their faces. What have they seen when they died to make them smile like that? Probably a beautiful face, giving them the good news that they are saints, that they are protected by Allah, that Allah is happy with them. And then you're taking, of course, between dying and going to your tomb, to your grave, this period when they wash your body and bring you here behind me, and we play janaza for you, and then they take you to your grave. This part I will leave for you because this will be your homework this week, and I'll tell you what to do. But now I will jump to the grave, and I want you to imagine that questioning starts at the first night. You know what? Not at the first night. When they take you, when the brothers that you love and your family take you to your grave, actually they will throw you in your grave and leave. As soon as they leave, two angels come, calling your name. Sit upright. And the questioning will start. Those pieces of cloth will fall next to you, and the pieces of cotton will fall in your lap, and they will ask you. And either your answers will come out easy, without hesitation, or you will be puzzled. They will ask you about Allah, they will ask you about your religion, they will ask you about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Either you answer directly, Allah is inspiring you the answers, He is the servant of Allah and the last messenger of Allah, or you will say, I don't know, I don't know. And then they will kick the side of your grave, which will turn like a screen into a screen, and you will see both places, your place in hellfire and your place in paradise. If you're a righteous person that Allah forgave, they will tell you, this is your place in hellfire. You will see it with its flames. And they will tell you, the good news is Allah saved you from this. And this is your place in the gardens of paradise, gardens with flowing streams underneath. Or if you are a person that Allah did not forgive, you will see your place in paradise, and they will tell you, you are deprived from this. This is your destiny. And they will show you your place in hellfire. Very hot, very dreadful, very frightening. And this is happening, and then every day, every month, every year, the grave is opened and they bring someone next to you. So the grave keeps opened every while, and people are coming down, lying next to you and getting questioned until everybody on earth is dead. Nothing is moving on earth or in the sky. No birds, no planes, no fish. Nothing is moving. Just the sound of silence. No sounds, no voices. No one is in existence except Allah, the One, the uniquely One. You know what? We make a big mistake when we say Tawheed means the oneness of Allah. No, it means the unique oneness of Allah. Because this is one cup. And there are many like it. Allah is the one who there is no one like him. So he is uniquely one. Everybody died. Nothing is in existence except Allah. And then all of a sudden, in your grave, you will hear the caller announcing the start of the judgment day. I want you to imagine your feeling now. You're just sleeping, waiting, and then all of a sudden, the judgment day is now. Wake up, all of you, get up. And the graves are opened. Will you feel comfortable? Or worried? Or scared? What will be your feeling? You are now ordered to stand up on your feet. To stand up, and you are going to stand up between the hands of Allah, to be held accountable for all your deeds, for all the lies that you told, for all the sins that you sinned, and also for the good deeds. And the earth will be ripped apart above you. Graves are opened and you are up on your feet. It's of course you can't see much because your eyes are full of dust. You keep taking out the dust out, spitting out the dirt from your mouth and cleaning your ears. Then you start to see billions and billions of people around you, all naked, dusty, tired, scared. Everybody's just looking to the direction from which the sound is coming. The summoner who is summoning people, calling them to go towards Ard al-Mahshar, the land of the gathering area. يومئذ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Taha, يومئذ يتبعون الداعي لا عوج له وخشعت الأصوات للرحمن فلا تسمع إلا همسا. On that day, people will follow the summoner, from whom there is no escape. Every voice will be hushed for the Lord of mercy, Ar-Rahman. Only whispers will be heard. Some people will ask questions. What's happening? Where are we? But they would be whispering. It's scary. None of them will dare to even raise his voice and say, what's happening, guys? No, just whispering, looking at the summoner or the direction where the voice comes from. And people start to walk. All people start to walk shamefully, looking down, going towards the gathering place, Ard al-Mahshar. No one is thinking of anyone except himself. Look to your right. Those are your children. Your children whom you loved and who loved you. In front of you, this is your loving mom. You haven't seen her for like 1,000,000 years or something or more. Your loving mom, your loving father, your beautiful wife, your brother. They saw you, but they did not care about you. They won't even care about you. And you won't even care about them. You will run away from them and they will run away from you. That day is a very hard day. No one will think except about himself. يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه. The day when every man will flee from his own brother, from his own mother, from his own father, from his own spouse, from his own children. Each one of them will be absorbed in concerns of their own on that day. What a day that we never think about. Aren't you happy to see them? You're not happy to see them, by the way. And they are not happy to see you, by the way. Those you are your loving ones, the people that you used to love, the people whom seeing them in this life used to comfort you and make you forget any sorrows. You now do not want to see them, and they don't want to see you. Imagine your feelings. Imagine how worried you are. Now we reach the Ard al-Mahshar, the gathering land, the gathering area. It's very crowded, extremely crowded. People, other creatures that we have never seen, jinn. We're all there. And all naked and dusty, barefooted, scared. All of us scared. But the most scared among us are the rulers, kings, presidents, who used to oppress people. They are the most scared. Those who were actually in charge. Those who were in office. And all are shameful. But the most shameful will be the police. I may not mean the police here, by the way. I mean maybe the police in Egypt now. Or the people who used to torture people. The people who used to use their power to abuse their power. Those are the most shameful. People who may feel ashamed of themselves. And the animals and the beasts are coming down to the land of the gathering, but also in humiliation. The beasts are not running like before, no. They're just with their heads down like that. Shame. And the devils will also come in shame. And it's very crowded, and people are like waves colliding at each other. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Kahf, وَتَرَكْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ. On that day we will let them surge against each other like waves. Waves of people pushing each other. And a very loud sound is heard, then it becomes very dark. It becomes very dark. No, you can't see your hand. And then the sky starts boiling like boiling metals, and then big bodies start to come down. Those are the angels. Huge bodies. And the people start to ask them, is Allah among you? Who are those? We have never seen something big like that. So even people may ask, is Allah among you or what? Who are you? Those are the angels. So it's very hard day. And actually, the crowds are colliding at each other, they said, and the sun is heated to the sum of 10 years. 10 years of heat all together in one day. And it comes down very close to the heads. In the sun, you always look for what? Shade. There's no shade at that day, except for some types of people, for some believers. Others will be in the sun, drowning in their sweat. Some of them will have the sweat up to their heels, some will have the sweat up to their knees, some will have the sweat up to their sides, some will have the sweat up to their ears, some will be bridled with sweat, which means they will keep hardly can keep their mouth outside to breathe. This day is 50,000 years long, without a drink, no sip of water, no meal, nothing, no sandwich, nothing. Very tired, very thirsty, very hungry. And people will feel like, let the questioning begin, even if we go to hellfire, but let it begin. And waiting like that, tired like that, Adam comes in, followed by Noah, followed by Abraham, followed by Moses, followed by Jesus, peace be upon them all. People will run at them, surrounding them, groups surrounding them, asking them to ask Allah to start. And every one of them says, Allah is angry today like never before. I can't talk to him. Leave me alone. I only think of myself right now. If those prophets are that stunned, are that scared, how about you, sinner? How about you, liar? How about you? I want you to imagine your feelings. And then the Prophet, peace be upon him, Prophet Muhammad, comes in. People will run at him. Oh, come on, you are the last prophet. You are Habibur Rahman. You are the one that Allah chose you to be the final messenger. Please, talk to Allah. Ask Allah to start. And he goes, and he falls on his knees, and he falls on his face, and he begs Allah to start. And Allah accepts his intercession. This is called the general intercession. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, intercedes for all people, Muslims and non-Muslims, just to start the judgment day. And then, وَأَشْرَقَتِ الْأَرْضُ بِنُورِ رَبِّهَا وَوُضِعَ الْكِتَابِ وَجِيءَ بِالنَّبِيِّينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَقُضِيَ بَيْنَهُم بِالْحَقِّ وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ. And then the earth will shine with the light of its Lord. And the record of deeds will be laid open. The prophets and the witnesses will be brought in. Fair judgment will be given between them. They will not be wronged. So the judgment day starts and the record is put open. The first people that Allah will ask is who? The prophets. So Allah will gather the prophets and ask them. يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُ اللَّهُ الرُّسُلَ فَيَقُولُ مَاذَا أُجِبْتُمْ قَالُوا لَا عِلْمَ لَنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ عَلَّمُ الْغُيُوبِ. Listen to this. This is amazing. Allah says in the Quran, the day when God assembles all the messengers and asks, what response did you receive? The prophets will say, we do not know. We have no knowledge. Only you know things that we cannot know. What? They don't know? No, they know, but they lost their memory. They are stunned. Prophets got stunned and they lost memory. How about you? Think about yourself. If this will happen to the prophets, so what do you think you will feel? How worried you will be. Imagine yourself when the records start to fly and come in the hands of people. Winners will find that they are receiving the records in the right hands. Losers in the left hands. Some people will feel like scared. So they will put their hands behind their back. It will come from behind their back. So imagine yourself when you see the records coming in the right hands, left hands, right hands, left hands, and not yet in your hand. How will you feel now? This is something that you need to feel the moment. And then, one by one, will be held accountable in front of people, in front of his father, mother, wife, children, husband. In front of everybody, people will be called by name, and then there can be a movie played and people seeing you doing these things that you used to do behind their back, thinking that no one is seeing you, while actually you were on video. Audio, video, 3-dimension. But the issue is, everyone who is questioned and then he wins and he's taken to Jannah, you will feel very happy. Here in this life, when we are waiting to hear the names of the 10 winners or the 20 winners, every name is mentioned and it's not your name. You feel like, oh, you lost one of your chances. But on that day, you will feel happy because, wow, there are people going to Jannah. Good, good. You want more people going to Jannah because this increases your chances. You will feel like this gives you hope. And every time they take someone from the hypocrites or from the disbelievers to hellfire, you will feel like scared. Oh my God, there are people who are taken to hellfire. I want you to imagine yourself when the angels bring you and you stand up before Allah, and Allah is asking you, my servant, why did you do this? Why did you do that? You were not ashamed from me? You didn't feel ashamed of yourself? Why did you do this? What deceived you about me? What deceived you and told you that you will not be resurrected or held accountable? What will be your feeling? And then, I want you now to imagine the Sirat. The Sirat is a different story. The Sirat, it's a very sharper than a knife, and thinner than a hair. And you have to pass. And it's dark. But Allah said, يَوْمَ تَرَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَسْعَى نُورُهُمْ بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَبِأَيْمَانِهِمْ بُشْرَاكُمُ الْيَوْمَ جَنَّاتٌ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. The day when you see the believers, men and women, with their light streaming out ahead of them. Their light is streaming out for them, and there are light in their right hands. So there is light in front of you if you're a believer, a good person, a righteous one, someone whom Allah forgave. The light is streaming out for you, and in your right hand they give you also something to look with here and there, like a torch or something. And given the good news while walking. The good news is that where you will stay today and forever in gardens with flowing streams. You will be told, the angels will be telling you, we have good news. You are going to the gardens with flowing streams. This is your destiny. This is where you will stay starting today and forever. Imagine your feeling. Ya Rab. Ya Rab. Make us among those. You know what, brothers? If you're driving in a dark road, there are no lights on the side of the road, and something goes wrong with your lights, it's very dark, what will you do? You will follow a car that has lights. So you will try to make use of the light of the car in front of you. So if it goes fast, you will try to tell him, slow down, I'm driving in your light. This happens on the Sirat for the hypocrites. Because the next ayah says, يوم يقول المنافقون والمنافقات للذين آمنوا انظرونا نقتبس من نوركم. The day when the hypocrites, men and women, will ask the believers, men and women, to slow down because they are using their light. Wait, let us have some of your light. قِيلَ ارْجِعُوا وَرَاءَكُمْ فَالْتَمِسُوا نُورًا. They will be told, go back and look for a light. Go to the beginning of the Sirat, they will give you something there. So they're just turning their backs. What happens? فَضُرِبَ بَيْنَهُمْ بِسُورٍ لَهُ بَابٍ بَاطِنُهُ فِيهِ الرَّحْمَةِ وَظَاهِرُهُ مِنْ قِبَلِهِ الْعَذَابِ. A wall with a door will be erected between them. Inside it lies mercy, and outside it lies torment. So all of a sudden they were just told, go back and find something. They just turn their backs. A wall is dropped and erected between them. So they will start calling. يُنَادُونَهُمْ أَلَمْ نَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ. They will call out, were we not with you? قَالُوا بَلَى. Yes, you were with us. You were with us in life too. You were with us. قالوا بلى ولكنكم فتنتم أنفسكم وتربصتم وارتبتم وغرتكم الأماني حتى جاء أمر الله وغركم بالله الغرور. Yes, you were with us, but you allowed yourselves to be tempted. You were hesitant, doubtful, deceived by false hopes until God's command came. And the deceiver tricked you about Allah. Done. That day, no one will be able to ransom himself with money or anything. Done. فاليوم لا يؤخذ منكم فدية ولا من الذين كفروا مأواكم النار هي مولاكم وبئس المصير. Today no ransom will be accepted from you or from the disbelievers. Your home is the fire, that is where you belong. A miserable destiny. Subhanallah, this ayah is amazing. I was reciting this ayah a few weeks ago and it stopped me. Allah is talking to the hypocrites, telling them, no ransom will be taken from you, nor from the disbelievers. Why would Allah tell the hypocrites that the same will happen to the disbelievers? Do you think that the hypocrites care a lot about the disbelievers that day? They don't care. But this means that they feel that their status is less than the disbelievers, so they will start to ask for the status of disbelievers. So they will be told, no ransom will be taken from you, nor from the disbelievers. Hypocrites. Their names are Mustafa and Muhammad and everything, by the way. Muna, Huda, by the way. Abdul Fattah. Don't mention names. I didn't mean that. Anyway, you will be asked, brothers and sisters, about your life. How did you spend it? Your time, how did you spend it? Your money, from where did you earn it and how did you spend it? Your body, how did you use it? You spent money buying cigarettes, alcohol, and you spent your body, your strength in what? You wasted it in smoking, drinking, oppressing people instead of helping people. Your tongue, how did you use it? What did you utter with it? What did you say? Lies? Bad things? Good things? Your eyes, what did you look at? Halal or haram? What kind of videos do you play? Your ear, what did you listen to? Of course, it's very tough. Allah will ask you, Abdi, my servant. And you know what? At that day, you will see the sin and you know that it's coming to be played. But Allah can tell you, my servant, I covered you in your life when you did it. And I will cover you again today. This will not be a scandal. Because actually, your parents and your, that's a Skype. Your parents and your children and all those are next to you. They could have seen you doing the sin. But Allah tells you, I covered you on the day, covered you on that day when you did it, and I cover you again today. You know what? Had there been death at that day, you could have died out of happiness when Allah tells you that He's covering you again and that He forgave this sin for you. What kind of happiness you will feel when Allah tells you, I covered you before, I'm covering you again, and I even forgive it. Wow. Wow. Or a scandal. You know what? You'll be, inshallah, extremely happy when you find yourself winning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us this in the Quran about the happiness of the winners. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ فَيَقُولُ هَاؤُمُ اقْرَءُوا كِتَابِيَهْ إِنِّي ظَنَنْتُ أَنِّي مُلَاقٍ حِسَابِيَهْ فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ فِي جَنَّةٍ عَالِيَةٍ قُطُوفُهَا دَانِيَةٌ كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا هَنِيئًا بِمَا أَسْلَفْتُمْ فِي الْأَيَّامِ الْخَالِيَةِ. Anyone given his record in his right hand will say, here is my record, read it. Be very happy, very excited. I thought I would meet my reckoning. He will have a pleasant life in a lofty garden with clustered fruits within his reach. Eat and drink to your heart's content as a reward for what you have done in days gone by. Or a scandal. Movie is played in front of everybody. And then what? You will say like, no, I didn't do that. Even though the movie is played. So you're lying again. You know what happens? Not Allah. Allah will not talk to you. Those are the malaika, the angels, and the witnesses, and the VIPs at that time will be the martyrs, the witnesses. They're witnessing, okay? And the prophets will say, liar, let the curse of Allah be on you. كذاب لعنة الله على الظالمين. Allah says, وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنِ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا أُولَئِكَ يُعْرَضُونَ عَلى رَبِّهِمْ وَيَقُولُ الْأَشْهَادُ هَؤُلَاءِ الَّذِينَ كَذَبُوا عَلى رَبِّهِمْ أَلَا لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلى الظَّالِمِينَ. Who could do more wrong than those who invent lies about God? Such people will be brought before their Lord, and the witnesses will say, those lied about their Lord, may the curse of Allah be upon the evildoers. So if, God forbid, if you lose and you get your record with your left hand, the feelings of sorrow are unimaginable. It's mentioned in the Quran. وَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِشِمَالِهِ فَيَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أُوتَ كِتَابِيَهْ وَلَمْ أَدْرِ مَا حِسَابِيَهْ يَا لَيْتَهَا كَانَتِ الْقَاضِيَةَ مَا أَغْنَى عَنِّي مَالِيَهْ هَلَكَ عَنِّي سُلْطَانِيَهْ. But everyone who is giving his record in his left hand will say, if only I had never been given any record and knew nothing of my reckoning, how I wish death had been the end of me. Wishing death to be, that it could have been the end. There is no use of my wealth, and my power has vanished. And Allah, of course, will be very angry of him. I don't want to be angry of you, inshallah, God forbids. May Allah save us all from the shame on that day. He will say, خُذُوهُ فَغُلُّوهُ ثُمَّ الْجَحِيمَ صَلُّوهُ ثُمَّ فِي سِلْسِلَةٍ ذَرْعُهَا 70 ذِرَاعًا فَاسْلُكُوهُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ لَا يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ الْعَظِيمِ وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ فَلَيْسَ لَهُ الْيَوْمَ هَاهُنَا حَمِيمٌ وَلَا طَعَامٌ إِلَّا مِنْ غِسْلِينٍ لَا يَأْكُلُهُ إِلَّا الْخَاطِئُونَ. He says, take him, put him in chains, lead him to burn in the blazing fire, then bind him in a 70-yard chain. He did not believe in Almighty Allah, and he did not encourage people to feed the needy. So he does not have no real friend here that today. Today he has no real friend. فَلَيْسَ لَهُ الْيَوْمَ هَاهُنَا حَمِيمٌ. And no food except the filth of the sinners. So what do we need to do now? To work for that day. خلاص. Wallahi, I can't continue. We need to work for that day. But we do sins. We are human beings. Okay, write a piece of paper and put it in your pocket. Every time you feel like you want to do a sin, take it out and read it. Allahu ma'i. Allah is with me. Allahu shahidun alayya. Allah is witnessing me. Allahu nadirun ilayya. Allah is looking at me. Write this and put it in your pocket. Allahu ma'i. Allah is with me. Allahu shahidi. Allah is witnessing me. Allahu nadirun ilayya. Allah is looking at me. Now, we have a homework for next week. Number one, please send the email. You need to have a registration number if you're gonna do your daily homework with me. Okay? So send an email to myhomework.uk@gmail.com. Ask for a registration. Don't write anything in the body of the email. No one has time to open emails. Just in the subject, you say, please send me a registration number. If you write, send me a registration number, she will still send you. But it's nice to say, please. Okay? Please send me a registration number. And then you write tonight the wish list. You remember the wish list? If the angel of death gives you 24 hours, what are the things that you wish to do before you die? And that is called Wird al-Maut. I want you to do this 3 times during this week. You remember the period which we skipped, which is if you die. Imagine yourself that you died at home even, not necessarily in the street. I want you to imagine that you died by turning off the light, sleeping not necessarily on the floor, because if someone comes in and sees you doing this, he will think that you lost your mind. So you can maybe in your bed and turning off the light and putting your hands like that, and imagine yourself that you died. And then they came to wake you up, you did not wake up. They started to scream and cry. Imagine them crying and bringing the doctor, and the doctor opens your eye and tests your blood and said he died. And you're just listening to them. Then they bring someone to wash you. Imagine yourself being washed and moved on your sides, and then wrap you in the kafan, and then put you in the coffin, the wooden box, and you are like shaken like that while they are carrying you outside your house, put in the ambulance or the car, and brought to the mosque, and Sheikh Abdul Qayyum praying janazah, leading the people in janazah, and people are making dua for you, and then you're shaking again in the car and then they are putting you in your grave, and you went down in the grave, dead people around you, and then they closed and they left. That's all I want. I'm not telling you to imagine anything else. Nothing in the grave. Maybe you can't do that. Nothing after that. But just imagining that you died 3 times this week. I know that the ladies who are listening to me now are scared. And usually ladies are the best in doing homework, except this homework. They hate it and it scares them. I know it scares, and that's why we do it. So please do it. Please do it. Okay? I promise, I will not ask this homework again during our workshop. Not again. Starting next week's homework, it will be a very, very, very beautiful homework. Very beautiful homework. But this time you have to do that. I wish that you also write your will. And especially when it comes to money, your wealth, what will you say? Give how much to the needy, or will you just keep it all for the children? Because in this workshop, you will start thinking about yourself. You will come alone on the Day of Judgment. And starting today and forever, you will ask Allah a lot. It's called Wird al-Ilhah. You will ask Allah a lot that He fixes your heart, that He gives you a good heart. Oh Allah, grant me a good heart. Oh Allah, fix my heart. Oh Allah, I want to come on the Day of Judgment with a good heart. Allah, fix my heart. So ask Allah a lot to fix your heart before every salah, in your sujood, all the time. This is something that you need to do every day a lot, at least like 1 minute before salah. 1 minute before every salah, but you need to do it. It's very important. Starting next week, we will do that before reading the Quran. And I will tell you why we do it. And it's very important. And there is a book. Of course, those who did not attend last time session, which is the introductory session, called the Balanced Purification, please watch it on YouTube. Balanced Purification. And write my name next to it. Fadel, F-A-D-E-L. You will get it. Watch it. Okay? And start reading the book of Dr. Majdi Al-Hilali. These workshops are actually based on his books. Majdi Al-Hilali. I believe that he is the best one who worked in the field of Tarbiyah today. So he has a book called At-Tawazun At-Tarbawi. We actually, alhamdulillah, translated the book. And the translation will be sent to you in the email. So if you send an email with asking for registration number today, tomorrow you will receive the link to the video and the link to download the book for free. Okay, inshallah? Jazakumullah khairan wa barakallahu fikum. Inshallah, this coming Friday, we will do the next session. It's a very nice one. It's called Quran, the Tool of Change. How the Quran will change us, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. if there is any question, I'll be, inshallah, happy to deal with it. So if you have a question about the topic, about the homework, do that. If not, okay. Say it in the language, yes, exactly. Dua. Say it in the language that you understand. If you know how to do it in Arabic, fine. Which is, Allahumma irzuqni al-qalb al-salim. Oh Allah, give me, urzuqni. Give me, or bestow on me, or give me a gift, okay? A good heart. Don't say it in a language that you don't understand. You should do it in a language that you understand. In Salah, actually, you do it in your mind. You do it in your mind. You can ask Allah now things in your mind. Are you asking in your mind with English or Arabic? Neither English nor Arabic. Okay? So, yes, ask Allah to give you a good heart. A lot. Yes.
Sometimes when you make dua, it becomes a habit to make dua, and you don't feel the sincerity in the dua. We don't feel the same. For example, the feeling that we had when we were doing the talk is something that makes me really want to make this dua. But after I do it for like a week or so, I start to feel like a habit. I've memorized the dua and I just have to say it now.
Yes, we will. Okay, the brother is saying that sometimes you do dua just automatically, without sincerity, not without sincerity, but he means without consciousness. That's what I said in the questions about the adhkar. How do you say your adhkar? With consciousness or not? We will deal with this in our workshop. There is a whole session for dua. There's a session for salah. So this, inshallah, workshop will fix our dhikr. And actually, the most important type of dhikr is Quran. And then salah. And then adhkar. All this are dhikr. So the Quran is dhikr. Your salah is dhikr. Dua is dhikr. Adhkar is dhikr. All this will be dealt with, inshallah, in this workshop. Don't worry and don't hurry. Anything else?
One of the questions was how to recite Quran in the class. Is it the same if you recite in English?
I don't want to jump to this now. Next week's session will be about that. But be ready with a good translation. Jazakumullah khair.